I have so much to do, but I really want to do a good job and be a great entrepreneur. You would have heard this many times, and you would have also heard yourself saying it. Hi, I'm Diya Asrani, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 7 productivity tips that you can take at any level as an entrepreneur. Whether you're just starting out or you're already a seasoned entrepreneur where you're already doing your bit. But sometimes we get really stuck in that rut of trying to balance things, the work-life balance, or trying to be there for the family and at the same time do as much as possible for the business or the presence or whatever we are building, right? And what really happens is that we are stuck in that whole belief that there is no time for anything. Okay, let me tell you one small thing. We have 24 hours in a day. In those 24 hours you sleep for probably 7 to 8 hours, right? In the balanced day, how much time do you actually have to actually do something that is constructive? You can literally just take 1 hour a day or maybe 2 hours a day and do something constructive and be absolutely productive. Now, a lot of people have this misconception that, productivity means I have to do job to job to job to job. I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. Only if I do these 10 different, things in a day, I become productive. But the fact is that if you actually just do one nice task, like a good goal or something like a mini goal or something like that you're trying to achieve, and you achieve that task, that makes you productive. Okay, just because we have lots of free time and we're just sitting there Netflixing, getting on the phone, yes, that's different from not doing work at all. But if you do your work and then you have time for all these things, you will be more at peace in terms of how you can build that balance in your lifestyle. Okay, so the very first thing which I want to talk about in all these 7 powerful tips is break your macro goals into your micro goals. Okay, and what do I mean by this is that if you really are looking to achieve something in the next, say, 6 months, okay, you have to divide that goal into smaller goals. Okay, because there's a whole process that leads to those macro goals. So suppose your macro goal is I want to earn X amount of money in a month in the next 6 months. Okay, now that X amount is your goal, but whatever that amount is, you need to work backwards to understand that what are the small things that I can do to actually work towards that goal. We keep thinking that we're going to journal it, write it down, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to achieve this, but you forget that there's a whole process behind that. So how would you do that? So you need to achieve a micro goal to actually go closer to your macro goal. Right? So even if it means that, say, okay, let's just talk about this example, X amount of money that you want to earn in the next 6 months. What is your next step, okay, that will lead you closer to that goal? Would it be changing your strategy? Would it be starting your business? Would it be adding a new service? Would it be a new stream of income? It could be anything, right? So what are you planning to do? So you have to have a plan. You have to have something that would get you from point 0 to point 1. Right? So that is your first productivity tip. And how do you do this? You have to plan your next step, not your 10th step. You plan your next step, your micro goal. What are you going to achieve? What are you going to do to actually get to that goal? That's your first tip. Okay, plain and simple. The second tip which I want to talk about is don't schedule more than 2 or 3 tasks in a day. Okay. Now a lot of people have long to-do lists. 9 to 10 tasks. I have to finish this. I have to go there. I have to go for grocery shopping. I have to, read my book. I have to write it down. And yes, I've been there too. Okay, so I'm not even going to tell you that I've not been there. It's not something that, I've been like this, on a different cloud altogether wherein I've always had it all sorted out. No, it's not like that. I had my whole share of, productivity tips wherein I used to think that doing 10 tasks in a day is something that makes a person productive. Okay, but it's completely the other way around. You do 2 or 3 tasks in a day. Like one could be related to work, one could be related to, maybe the family, one could be related to managing the house, something, any kind of thing, but you put it together and you make sure that it's done. Okay, now how long these tasks take, it depends on you, right? So if it's like something like recording videos for content, Now, recording videos is something that would take some time. It will take 1, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes to record, say maybe 6 or 7 videos for the month, right? So you have to plan it in such a way, because after that your energy is down. This I'm giving an example only for videos, right? But if you actually have to do something else where you have to, like, say, write your manuscript of your new book, or talk to somebody, or get on a coaching call, or whatever your task is, it depends on what is the whole kind of task that we are talking about in this case. Okay, so keep it to 2 or 3 tasks max. If it's easier task, maybe you can go up to 4, but not more than that, because see, you don't want to reach burnout, right? You don't want to reach a point where you say, okay, I've done too much, but now tomorrow I don't want to do anything. Okay, so you should do it in like small chunks. And it's absolutely okay if sometimes you don't reach the deadline. It's absolutely okay. Nobody is judging you on that. You're only telling your own self that you have a deadline. But yes, you do need to take it seriously in terms of how do you achieve a goal. So now suppose if you want to launch a book in the next 1 month, you have to work backwards in terms of how you're going to do things. Have you already spoken to the publisher? Because it takes time to publish a book, right? So what are you going to do to make sure that they achieve that deadline, right? So keep it in mind in terms of how you can achieve this. This is your second tip. Okay, now your third tip is finish the hardest one first, which a lot of entrepreneurs do the other way around. They say, I will keep this for later. I'll keep this for later. I'll do it at the end. It's okay now. I'm not in the mood. The best part about doing the hardest task is doing it first and then loving it. Okay, because that's what I've realized, that if I do the most hardest, for me, some of the most hardest tasks would be, recording videos sometimes, because sometimes you're not in the best of moods to actually do it, but you have to do it so that you can churn out content and so that you guys can consume my content, right? So that is one of the tasks which I find a little challenging sometimes, because it does pull you down sometimes in energy. But because I am so passionate about it, I let it go and I just say, okay, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to be in my best of energy, and then I'm going to go and do the other tasks which are a lot more easier. Okay, now this is one example, but what you can do is you can choose a task which you don't really like much. Okay, say, handling accounts, or, writing something, or writing a mail to, a new client, or whatever the thing is that, emails sometimes take too much time. So whatever is the hardest task, you go for that first in the morning. Okay, now what time it works, what time are you most productive, that is completely your call. That is something that you have to see and take a call. But I would say that, something wherein you really need to just get this done before the end of the day, which means that you first do that and then you do the easier, because later on your easier tasks, okay, it's a lot faster to actually complete it, because you don't have to really think that, oh, I still have that thing left for the day, right? So keep that in mind as your third tip. Now your fourth productivity tip is make a schedule template. Okay, so what I mean by this is that, suppose if you have now you have 7 days in a week. Okay, now every Sunday don't work, which I think most of us do, but there are entrepreneurs who still work on Sundays. They take up webinars, they take up coaching, they do all kinds of things on Sundays, which I don't understand till today, but then you have to keep that free time, right? I used to do it once upon a time, so I'm not going to say that I didn't, but I realized that I have to balance my time, right? Now, suppose if you do that, okay, so Sundays keep for all the breaks, all your family breaks, whatever. Then, every Monday and every Thursday, you have coaching calls. Okay, so you only plan your coaching calls on Monday and Thursday. The rest of the days, you don't take any coaching calls. So if people want to talk to you, they will talk to you on Monday or on Thursday. Okay, so if you actually open it to them and say, oh, anytime you can call me, then you're going to get calls left, right, and center, and you're not going to have time to do anything else. Okay, so Monday, Thursday, do that. This is just an example I'm giving you. You can change it according to what you want. And then you can have every Tuesday and Wednesday as, maybe either marketing, or maybe, something like content, or maybe just Tuesday you can have only for content creation, and, Wednesday is for marketing, and Friday would be, say for community building or something like that, right? So plan it in such a way wherein, there's not more than 1 or 2 hours that you're spending on a task. Okay, that is related to work. And when you schedule, so whether it is calls, emails, coaching calls, clients, back-end work, anything, you schedule it based on your entire week. So you say every Wednesday or every Thursday I'm going to be doing this. Okay, so that way you have a balanced lifestyle to live, and you also have the time to do other things as well. Okay, now if you keep bombarding your each week or each day with all kinds of work, okay, I'm going to do the calls in the morning, and then I'm going to do coaching calls in the evening, and I'm going to do a webinar in the night, then you're in for a lot of trouble. Okay, so make sure that you plan your schedule template. Okay, now the fifth tip which I want to talk about is work in shorter chunks of time. Okay, now what I mean by this, the high intensity interval training which a lot of fitness enthusiasts like, right? So what does it mean? It means that high intensity training and then you have an interval, right? So same thing with work as well. When you are actually doing something for say 2 hours, okay, you have a 2 hours task or something. I'm not telling you go head on for 2 hours non-stop. Okay, you're a human being. So it's better to go in a high level in short chunks. So say for example, for say 20 minutes, okay, like 15 to 20 minutes, you work full on, okay, laser focus into the task, work full on. Then take 10 minutes break. Then again you start for 15 to 20 minutes, then again take 10 minutes break. So what is happening? You're giving yourself a breather in between so that you can start and you can give your 100% again. Now, if you keep doing it non-stop for 2 hours, you will reach burnout in no time. Okay, within like half an hour, 45 minutes, you'll be like, oh my God, this is so much work, right? But if you stop at 20 minutes, though you're tempted to continue, okay, and you stop at 20 minutes, you will realize that you're really energized after those 10 minutes or 5-minute gap. So it's up to you how you want to, keep those intervals. You can keep the intervals for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, you can even do it for 15 minutes, but not more than that, okay, because then after that you're procrastinating. So try and keep this, shorter chunks of time so that you become more productive and you end up doing the task in a better way and more efficiently. All right. Now the next tip which I want to talk about is focus on one goal at a time. Now we all have a vision board. We all have many goals that we want to achieve, and now New Year, so you want to achieve new things. So there are so many goals, and there's nothing wrong, okay, if you have so many goals. You might have a relationship goal, you might have a career goal, you might have, say, a community building goal, you might have a business goal. I mean, there are many goals, right? So pick out one goal at a time. Now, if it means that it's something on fitness and something on business, then you can work hand in hand. Okay, then it comes down to how you work every single day. So you give 1 hour of time to, for fitness, you give 2 hours of time to your business. That way, you're planning your goals together. But think about it before you do anything. Now, if you say that I want to lose weight in the next 6 months, I want to lose these many kilos. At the same time, I want to also cut down on all these different things. Yes, it will happen simultaneously if you cut down on your diet and you work out, right? But if there are going to be many goals in as such, where you want to build a wardrobe and look better, or you want to change your hairstyle, or there are so many goals that people have, right? But when you actually put it all together, it might become too overwhelming because there's so many things that you're working for. Okay, so try and make it in such a way that there are from different compartments. Okay, so say relationship, I'm going to work on making my relationship with my kids better. Okay, I don't have kids, but that's a different goal. But then many people who are watching my videos, they have kids, but that's one thing. Then the second thing would be health and fitness or health and wellness goals. So I want to lose X amount of kgs in the next how many ever months. So what is going to be my plan? Okay, so you work on one goal at a time and keep that as your main goal, and then you can go to the next goal. Okay, nobody is running away. You're not running short of time, right? You are planning it in such a way that so that you achieve every aspect, but make sure you achieve it. Okay, that's the whole beauty of it. Okay, and your final productivity tip which I would like to talk about is outsource, delegate, or build a team. Okay, now when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, you probably won't need a team, but you can outsource the skills or the certain services or certain parts of your business in a certain way if you really need to. Okay, now initially when you are starting out, you don't necessarily need to outsource to begin with. Okay, like now say marketing, or if it's anything to do with creating a course or building the brand or any part of your business, initially you will want to do it yourself. Okay, now if you're not into designing your logo and all that, you can of course give that out to people. You can give it out to designers. If you're not okay to design your own website, you can give it to a website designer. He will do it for you. But the point over here is that initially you will have enough time to explore these things and learn on the way. Okay, now once you learn all that, then you can start outsourcing and giving it to people. But eventually, that's what you need to do. You need to delegate and outsource and give it to people so that people will do it for you and you become more productive and you focus on what you're good at. Okay, so if your main industry or your main services is on trading, or you are you're always speaking to different crowds, or you're only conducting webinars and you're giving content, or you're a content creator, so your focus will be on that and all the extras will be on all the people who are good at what they do, right, in those particular domains. Okay, so with that said, we are done with 7 productivity tips. Now you might think that, I know this one, I know this one also, but are you doing it? If you're doing it, great. Okay, but if you're not doing it, you can at least pick out one of these productivity tips and try and work on it. Okay, so say for example, you want to build your schedule template, right? So for the week, Monday, Thursday, this is what I'm going to be doing. Every Wednesday I will be doing this. Every Friday I'll be doing this. Now it's not cast in stone that you have to do it the way I told you. You can change the days. Like every Monday I do this. Every Wednesday is my free time. If you feel your audience are available on Sundays, do it on Sundays. That is for you, right? Because it's in the end what works for you, right? And you are an entrepreneur. You are your own boss. You are not somebody who's working under someone. You are somebody who is building something that people can work under you, right? So with that said, I wanted to just make sure that this is something that would help you in the long run. And do keep watching this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you really like something more on personal branding, on building your presence, building your online presence, all the skills to actually build that really powerful presence, then please subscribe, like my video, comment and what you think on the productivity tips, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.